Good evening. Welcome to another reading with Black Cat Divination. Tonight we are answering a specific question for you, Miss W. This is a follow-up read to our first one, which left you with some questions, but also sounds like it left you with maybe some validation that there's something going on with this man that has appeared in your energy here in the last 7 months or so, which is what you indicated to me. These cards are going to be laid out. I'm going to lay out 7 of these cards. These are going to be one of the rows that we read after a card falls out. I'm just going to lay them out after a cut. And then the other cards, I'm going to do it a little differently. I'll explain while I'm shuffling. But the questions that we want answered is, there's a man who's showing up in the energy of Miss W. It's been about 7 months, about a year since Miss W was called on a spiritual journey. And a natural question is coming out that we're wondering if this gentleman that is showing up in Miss W's energy, if he is a part of this journey. There's the card that falls out right there. Let's lay out these cards. I'm going to lay them out upside down first until we get to that second row. Let's see, that's 5, 6, 7. All right, let me make sure these are looking like they're in the right spot. I went rock hunting today, and 2 of the rocks that I found today, it's hard to tell how pretty this is, but this is one of those agates. It needs to be polished up. And this is another one that I found today. It's a little agate. I decided to have them in your reading. And then this one I just thought was really cool. It's not really any special rock. It's just got, well, it is a special rock, because look at it, it's got its own little design in it. So I thought that was really neat. So I picked that one up too. I don't know how well you can even see these. It looks like this light is really bad with this camera. Anyway, those rocks are present in your reading. I wanted to share that with you. All right. Okay, so that's good enough. You can see those, and I'll make sure again when I reveal them. Okay, so as we were saying, we want to know, is this gentleman that is showing up in Miss W's energy, is this man in any way connected to this spiritual journey that Miss W is presently on and has been on for about a year? Mysterious man. What does he see? How does he see Miss W? How does he see her? Does he know of her? Is this man aware of this energy connection between these two? Is he aware of it yet? If he isn't aware of it, will he? I don't know if we can answer all these questions, but I'm just throwing some questions out there. What does he want to tell Miss W? Is there a message? I mean, we know from the last reading was indicated there's an incoming message from an older gentleman. It could be this man that we're talking about right now. If he has a message from Miss W, can we get some indication of what that message might be? What does he want to tell her? How does he feel about her? How does he see her? Does he have dreams of her? Does he have a is he feeling the spiritual connection as well? Does he have intentions of contacting her? Is there something holding him back? Is there something keeping him from making this spiritual connection a reality in his 3D world? Okay. So, in these cards, when I meditated on this question, I chose the gentleman card as our significator. That's the gentleman in question. I'm going to, once the card falls out and I've cut one time, I'm going to look for the gentleman card in this deck and pull out 3 cards in front of him and 3 cards behind him. And that's going to be our reading and answers to questions like, how does this gentleman feel about Miss W? How does he see her? What does he want to tell her? What's holding him back from communication? What's holding the connection back? Is he a part of this spiritual journey that Miss W has been on for the past year? Is this gentleman a significant part of that? He showed up 7 months ago. So that would indicate that he's possibly a part of this journey if he's showing up shortly after her spiritual journey showed up. Who is he? What does he want? How does he see Miss W? What does he want to tell her? What's holding him back? What's the holdup? I mean, he's been in her energy for about 7 months. That's a long time. That's a long time to be feeling a connection and not have any kind of explanation for these feelings. What's going on? What's going on with this man? Please tell us. Thank you, Spirit, for helping me to help Miss W answer her questions about this mystery man. We want to know what's going on. Oh, that card almost fell out. Okay. And I didn't do that on purpose. I hope it didn't look like I did. I didn't. Okay, so we're cutting the cards. All right. And yeah, that's right. I was looking for the man card. I wasn't just laying them out. So we're looking for the man card, and we want, oh, there he is right there. We want 3 cards behind him, and we want the 3 cards in front of him. Okay, and we're going to lay these out just like this. There's those lilies. Those showed up in the last reading. You know, just at first glance, these last 2 cards right here, to me, would indicate a spiritual journey. Because I know the cross card, while it can represent burdens and things that weigh you down and, you know, things that are emotional, it can also represent spiritual journey. And since we specifically asked that, is he a part of this spiritual journey? You've got the stars next to the cross. I think those are 2 cards together are very spiritual. He's also got the house next to him, which to me indicates that this man has some kind of foundation. There's something stable about him. The mice showing up next to the crossroads. This could be a decision that's causing anxiety. Maybe this is because we did ask what's stopping him from coming forward. Maybe there's some anxiety involved in communication. Maybe. Now we know that the lilies can represent an older person, and they came up in that last reading. Maybe the fact that he's an older person is what's causing anxiety. Just checking to see if you can see these cards. Well, I should pick them up as I talk to them. Anyway, talk about them. Let's reveal. Okay, so these cards up here are representing the house. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with Lenormand. Excuse me, I'm not saying that word very well. Lenormand. Lenormand offers another option with readings with the house cards. And these cards just give another... Now, if you're doing a reading that's not the Grand Tableau, you can actually make your own house, which is what I did here because we're only using 7 cards. So these cards just interact. Oh my gosh, we got the lilies on top of the lilies. Okay. These cards interact with the cards below them. Oh my gosh, okay. I just have to say, I started your reading and had to stop because my camera cut out, and these 2 cards I shuffled, redid the whole thing. I did the whole thing, and these 2 cards were up in your last reading, the fish with the house. Now, no matter what, I'm gonna have to finish this reading. I got the house, so even if my camera cuts out like it did before, I'm gonna have to finish this reading. So look for a part 2, okay? Because I will finish it. Because this oh my gosh, look at all the duplicate cards. Okay, wow. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. I'm going to say my initial reaction right here is spot on. Look at that. You've got both crosses surrounding the stars. This would represent, in my mind, and because it was one of the main parts of the question we asked, this has to represent a spiritual journey. We've got the house diagonal from itself, but the house is in the house of the fish, which is abundance. So we've got, and these are the 2 cards that showed up in the first reading I did that I had to quit because my camera cut out and I just thought I messed up. But these 2 cards showed up before too, so that's significant. The fact that Oh, excuse me, my cat's scratching at the door. 1 second. Come on then. Come on. Come on. Okay, he's forcing me to leave the door open. Anyway, let's move on. So yeah, the house is in the house of the fish. So this is an abundant house. This is a stable, steady home. I think this gentleman, whoever he is in a position of stability. Possibly not in a place where he could relocate. He's got the anchor over here. The mice are in the house of the anchor, and the anchor is stability. It's long term. Maybe there's some anxiety about the stability that he has. Maybe he's in possession of stability and feeling really secure. And look, the stork is right above the man. Now the stork represents sudden change. It can represent movement. We could also sometimes bring in new beginnings, because you know how the stork brings a child, so it could be, you know, it's a little bit more of those translations that might be kind of far out. But anyway, this could represent change here. So maybe he's experiencing some anxiety because he's making a decision, because look, here's the crossroads. He's making a decision about a move, a move from his, maybe he'd be moving closer to you. Now the lilies are on top of the lilies. And in your last reading, I suggested that the lilies might represent an older gentleman, and they came up again, kind of in the same position, right? Because in your last read, the lilies were over here, and then 2 cards over was the man, because I think we had the letter in between, if I'm remembering. So maybe, you know what? I'm going to stand by this. He's older than you. He could be a man who works. Maybe his choices. This could be someone who works in like a official position, maybe in government or in a big business, because the tower can represent industry. It can represent institutions like of education. It can represent government. And we've got the crossroads right next then to the mice, which are a card of anxiety. It could be a card of loss. Maybe he is feeling like he's got to choose between losing something stable in his life or staying here and holding on to the stability that it offers, because he is an older gentleman. Oh, maybe I don't know how old you are. I have no personal information about you or this man. Maybe he's retirement age. Maybe that's the crossroads where he's at. He's going from, I've been in this steady industry for a long time. Maybe he was a workaholic. Maybe that brings him stress. So whoever this man is, he could be somebody who work has defined him all of his life. Maybe now he's on a spiritual journey. And we know, those of us who are on that same journey, we know that the spiritual journey doesn't necessarily take you down a road that's the same as what your career has been in the past. Maybe it's not about career at all. So he's making this decision, this spiritual decision for himself. Do I want to leave this stability, what I've known all my life, and go on this journey? So maybe that's what's holding him back. He's in a state of sudden change. He's trying to make a decision. It's bringing him anxiety. Now, I don't know what kind of, if you've had any maybe this is a Facebook friend. I don't know anything about this connection. If it's just in your energy, if this could be, you're seeing a face of a man you've never met. He's in your energy. This is like a repeating dream. That would indicate that this is not just a fluke, obviously. This isn't just someone you saw passing by in the grocery store. This is actually somebody that is significant within your unconscious, and that's why he keeps coming up in your dreams. He seems to be coming up in your cards as well, with these lilies. And he seems to be a successful man. He is on a journey. I do think he's on a spiritual journey. Maybe he's just starting his journey. Maybe he's been called away from what he's known all of his life. That's where he's headed. And maybe with choices he's about to make, maybe that brings him closer to you. Whoever this man is that you're having dreams about. Maybe that message that you got in your last reading had something to do with how you will find out who this man is. Maybe you'll get a Facebook friend invite, or maybe you'll run into him. You know, maybe he's going to be a visitor to wherever you live. You know, if you live overseas from this gentleman, maybe he's going to come by on vacation, maybe a retirement party or something. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just guessing. And maybe you'll meet him under those circumstances. I don't know if any of this helps you, but I do find it interesting, especially because we got some duplicate cards. The houses, the cross, and look, they're diagonal from each other too. And then the lilies are right on top of each other. But I think that the house cards were diagonal from each other because I think they both wanted to touch the fish card. I think that's very significant. That indicates who this man is. This is a very successful man. That's in my opinion, that's what these cards are saying. This is a very successful man. A very successful man who may have been deeply rooted into the matrix because of the type of job he had, and who is now deciding, oh gosh, I'm on this spiritual journey now, and it feels so different from what I've known before. This is going to feel so different than going to work every day, working your butt off for the system, making lots of money doing it, but that's what you're doing. You're going working for the system. And he's uprooting, he's putting an end to that. Maybe that's the decision he's making. And here he is. It's on the start of his spiritual journey, and maybe that his beginning brings you closer to him, brings him closer to you, because now he's ready to meet you. So maybe he is a part of your journey. Miss W, I hope this helped you. I appreciate your feedback, like you did before. I really appreciated that. That made me feel really good. I was glad that the reading resonated with you. And I can honestly tell you, I really enjoy doing this. And when we have a specific question like the one you asked, it makes me feel validated when I see some of these cards, because I think they match what we were asking. So, if you wouldn't mind, please give me some feedback again this time. And I'm excited for you because, you know what? I think this is a neat little story that's going on here. This man, whoever he is on a bit of a roller coaster ride right now himself. Maybe he just got on the roller coaster. Maybe you've been on it for a while and you can help him a little bit. He just got on the roller coaster and he's got some anxiety about it. You know how you feel when you get on a fast ride and you're like, oh God, I'm not sure I'm gonna like this. That's how he's feeling. That's the anxiety that he's feeling about this decision that he's making to leave his job, to leave what he considers his anchor, his stability, his income, what makes him so abundant in his home, so steady. He's got this big change right above him that's going to turn his world upside down. But you know what? It's going to be a beautiful journey. It always is, isn't it? It can be nothing but a beautiful journey. All right. You might have to help him when you meet him. You might have to give him a little bit of a helping hand because he's a beginner. He's going to need you. And when you guys meet, I wish you well. I think you're a perfect match. He's your dream man, right? Good for you. Lucky you. Anyway, I'm going to end this video before it cuts me out prematurely. Thank you very much for your question. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. Good luck to you.